Welcome everyone to another Saturday Discord live stream. My name is Goro Fujita, and today I'm gonna cover how to do like those neat sci-fi head-up displays. So this is like a piece that you guys can check out in Quill Theater. I also posted it into the event. I can also post it into the chat later. But this is something you can do fairly quickly in Quill. And I'm by no means like a crazy like sci-fi UI designer. However, I have a fair amount of experience in doing motion graphics and stuff like that. And I thought like, why not try to use Quill for that stuff? And turns out it's like really, really efficient and fast as well. So the way I'm going to delete this layer, I have to make this the initial spawn area. Let me delete this. The way I think about UI when I design sci-fi UIs is, you know, you have different types of elements. You have like those cool circle elements that look like, you know, rings and little lines and stuff like that here that you see. Then there's a grid. And then you have UI boxes with stuff in it. And then you have 3D elements in there, and also my favorite, like all those little text and stuff, right? Details that make it really look super neat. And I'm gonna go in this order, starting with some circles, then doing some grids, some boxes, 3D, and until we have like a full-blown sci-fi UI by the end of the class. If you have any questions during the time, just scream into the room, or, you know, type it into the chat, and I believe Tyler can read it to me, or Danielle can read it to me, and then I can answer them along the way. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm going to display the grid here. I already have a dark background. Maybe it's a little bit aggressive to your eyes, so I'm going to make it maybe a little bit lighter for now, but I'm going to make it dark later so you see the maximum contrast. So what I do first is I'm going to create a group here. We have the group pivot in here, and I'm going to just, let me just throw a paint layer in there. And once I have a paint layer in there, I can just start drawing some elements, right? So you guys saw Yari doing like perfect circles and stuff like that. I'm going to use a slightly different technique, you know, like I'm going to do something like this because I want this, for example, like a dotted line or something. And then I can just center, make the pivot origin and just make it jump into the center. I'm going to create a few of these circles. And a good thing to do is, you know, you can, like, for example, duplicate this over and change the, maybe let's do 24, change the snapping steps. And then when I select it, you can make like smaller steps like this, right? So you can, this is looking good. I do the same thing, reset transform, make pivot origin, reset transform, it jumps to the center. I'm gonna create another one here. Lets me do something much thicker. So maybe we change the color here so it looks a little bit different. And the reason why I'm like duplicating it over is because when I select them both, I have the pivot and the dead center, and that's like what I want. So now this time I'm just gonna free transform it, duplicate it a little bit, and then this looks about right. Maybe I want to make it a little bit asymmetrical like this. This looks pretty good. I do the same thing, reset transform, make pivot origin, reset transform, and it lands in the center. So like it's always like rotating in the center, right? So this is looking good. Then I will create another one, and maybe this time I do something like this. So I use a different color here. Let me do like a very thin line. Thin lines look really cool on UIs. And then I'm just gonna duplicate this, and then let me see what this looks like. It's like a clock face or something. This is looking good. So let me just do this. This is pretty cool. Okay, do the same thing, you know, always reset transform, make pivot origin, reset transform, and then you can scale it to what you want. And maybe I will reuse this one, duplicate this, and I'm going to maybe merge it with this guy. Maybe put it slightly behind, and then I'm gonna colorize it the same way. the same color, and then maybe just delete this. You know what? I think this guy is not in the center. I think. Let me redo this one. I think I want to make sure that it's, yeah, this is correct. Okay, let me redo the other one. I'm gonna create a new layer, and then maybe something like this, and duplicate it over. I'm just gonna do a circle first. This is good, and then I'm gonna center it. This is all preparation work before I animate it, right? So I'm just going to maybe something like this. This is good. And then I'm just gonna delete sections of it. Maybe I want to, let's see. That looks pretty good. All right, so now I have this ring, and maybe I want to merge it with this one. So I'm just gonna merge these, so these are like one. I might remove this guy here, and maybe this guy and this guy. So this looks better. And then this, oh, I messed up the pivot, I think, through the merge. I would have to merge it before, but what I can try to do is like, I can just group it, I think. If I group it, I should have the perfect pivot. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now let me just save it at this point, and let's see. This looks pretty good. I might want one more. Okay, so let's do one more. Maybe orange, something orange, and then I'm going to create something like this, and then. And let me do like a circle first again, and I'm going to reset and just make it in the center, and then I will do something, remove some of the stuff, just like this. This is looking good. Yeah, this is good. And then I think we have good elements here, so this looks pretty good. This is already a nice little HUD. And then maybe let me bring out my notes, that I make sure that I didn't forget anything. Did I delete my notes? No! I might have deleted my notes. I think I deleted my notes. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. I can just, it was like circles, boxes. Yeah, I will remember. Hopefully. Okay, let's work on the grid. So I have the pieces now here. Let's do some grids. So these are my circles. And I saved over the files. I can't bring back my notes, so sorry about that. Happens, but I'm gonna make the background darker now, and I'm gonna create a grid. So I'm gonna use the cube brush here, and then create like a little, with grid snap on, like a little dot, something like that, maybe like this. Scale it down. This is, let me make a short stroke. This is good. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, and then I will do something like this. Boom, 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 boom. I'm redoing, and then let me turn off the grid so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so I can select this all. This looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna look forward. So I'm gonna be in that grid. So this looks pretty neat. I might want to like darken it a little bit. So I'm just gonna colorize it. Make it a little darker. This is good. All right, and then I will add some other grids in there. So maybe we can create like, so let me make a folder here and call it grid. And then I make some brighter with some little anchor points. This looks pretty cool. And I'm not gonna be like super accurate here. Just gonna place it, eyeball it, and place it, you know, something like this. Maybe one here and one there. And then I do the same thing here. And then I can select them both and then, oops, select all of them. Maybe put them here and maybe duplicate them. Maybe I go also one more down like this. Eyeballing is fine for now. I'm not trying to sell anything here. So, okay, so this is like pretty cool. And then maybe I want to do some cubes and that glow in the dark. So maybe we do something like this. And then I'm gonna distribute them a little bit. Something like this. And this is just for parallax. It will look really, really cool to have something like this, right? And then I might do like some blinking ones. So they're like bigger. This is all like the part of the grid. Maybe they can be like random sized and even randomly. You know what? I will delete this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them blink, right? So in this case, I will hold this frame for, let's say, maybe like 15 frames. Let's try 15 frames. And then I add an empty frame. And I add 15 frames again to 30 frames. And I'm animating today with 30 frames per second just because it's UI element. It might look better that way. If I hit play now, it should be blinking. So this is pretty cool. So now this is blinking. I can also go ahead and duplicate it around. And then just, you know, maybe scale them down a little. Then here, scale them up a little. And now they will be blinking at the same time, right? So what I can do now, I hope this will work. I haven't tried this yet, but let me trim it because it's looping. And let me offset it. And then I'm going to group them and bake them. I hope it works. It should work. And then I'm going to loop them at like 1 second. It's a little bit too long, but it's fine. Let me go to 1 second and see if this works. Bake. Yep, it works. Perfect. Okay, those are the boxes. And now I have the grid working. And then I want to do some really cool boxes. But before I go into the boxes, let me just create some folders so I don't forget. Boxes, and then it was, what else did I have? Boxes, it was detail. And I hope I can remember. Damn it, getting old. Anyway, so I'm gonna go into the circles and I'm going to animate these circles. And then you can see what I can do, how I can reuse them and to create this futuristic HUD. So let me turn on the grid again so I can orient myself where I am. Let's save at this point. And then I'm going to create like a, probably a, like a, you know, 2 seconds. Let's go to 2 seconds cycle. So I'm gonna sequence it, loop it, right? And then I have all these circles here, all these nice circles. Let's pick the first circle here and keyframe it. So I'm gonna keyframe it here. I'm gonna set another keyframe here so they loop perfectly. I hit record, and then I'm just going to rotate it back, rotate it, rotate it back, and then select all, hit the spline, and then I have this animation, right? So this looks pretty cool. And then, you know, I actually rotated the layer. That's not what I wanted, so I can select all, copy, and then I'm gonna put it on the group, into a group. So I'm just gonna put another group in there. And then I'm going to basically paste and then delete these. So now the whole group is rotating, right? The reason why I'm doing this is because I can reuse the animation and bake it all out separately. So this is really cool because now I can do something like this, right? And bake it all out. So I hit this, bake, and now I have, I think the folder is baking with it. Okay, let me do one thing here. Let me see if I can merge this folder. I hope it maintains the, it just messes up the pivot, but it's okay for now. I take the inaccuracy. But now I can bake it. And now it's like rotating like this, right? Now I have this baked as a separate layer. And then I can go back in here, hide this layer that I just baked. I can go back in here, go to the next one, and just delete some frames. Oops. Delete some frames, delete, and now this one is rotating differently, right? So I like this, so I'm just going to bake this. Bake. And now I have this circle and this, so they're already like moving separately from one another. This is really cool. So I can keep reusing this group animation for the other elements as well, right? So I didn't want this to be separate, so let me just separate this. Perfect. And then I'm just gonna animate this one. So this one, maybe I like the animation, but I'm just going to invert it, kind of move it like this so it goes into the other direction first. And maybe I would just change the offset here so it's not the same. Okay. Maybe, you know, like, let me delete this. Oops, what happened? Let me set a keyframe here. Set a keyframe here. This. Oops. And auto key off, that's why. Let me redo this. So something like this. Now I turn it on. And now I go back. This should look good. Yeah, this is pretty good. Good enough. Maybe. Let me see. Up. Just trying to find like a good balance of things. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now I'm gonna bake this out. Boom. And then I go to the next. So this one. This one I might want to rotate in a circle. So I would go like, let me set this to stepped curves a little quick, and then I'm go to 8 steps. And then I go here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Using the snap with index finger to rotate. So let's see what this looks like. I have to set it to linear. Not what I expected. Let me try again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and one more time. 1, 2. It should work. Yeah, I think it's working. It might look weird to you because you guys see it at a different frame rate. I see it at 90 frames per second. It looks good, but let's see. Something is happening here. You know what? I'm just gonna try something else for now. So I'm just gonna record. I'm gonna puppeteer this one. So I'm just gonna do like, yeah, this is pretty cool. So I just puppeteered it, recorded my motion. This looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to bake this as well. So now I hide this layer. Did I have anything in there that I didn't use? Let me see. Oh yeah, this one. I used this one. Let me check, double check. I used this. I think I used everything but this one. Okay, let me just puppeteer this one as well. So I'm just gonna delete all frames. Maybe what am I doing? Click here. Okay, and then I'm just going to puppeteer. There's like a little hiccup there, so I'm just going to remove this, and it should work. Remove this area. Yeah, it's smooth. All right, so now I'm gonna bake it up, and now I have all the baked layers. And now I can start separating them, right? So I can go here, create like this really cool, really nice display elements, add a little bit of depth to it, right? Now it's starting to look really nice, right? So now what you can do is you put this all into one folder. Right, duplicate it, make it smaller, and then you can, if you like the colors, I like them the way they are, I can just merge it and offset it, right? Now it's offset, and then I can also say like, okay, I want this to be rotated. And now I have like already like a pretty cool UI. Maybe I want the center to be a little bit brighter, so I'm just going to select them all, select on all frames. And then just color dodge them a little bit. Will like slow down your computer a little bit, but this looks like pretty nice. Yeah, that is looking good. So now you have like a pretty solid UI element already. And then you have, let me see, where's this? I think I have a duplicated too. Okay, so I want this. I want to reuse this, but I might want to remove some of the stuff. So once you have these bakes, it's really easy to remove stuff and add stuff, right? So you can just remove this, and then maybe you say like, I actually like this ring here. So you can just duplicate it, bring it down. And maybe you want to change the color of this one, right? So in this case, you select it and make it a little bit darker. This was color dodge. Let me make it a little bit darker. Let's colorize it a little bit. Maybe I will add color manually. Yeah, let's see this. This looks pretty cool. Okay, now I have this. I can bake this again. No, merge. I have this, and then I can say like, okay, I want this, and this, and this. But this one might look different, something like this, right? So now you have like a pretty complex UI already, and then you can just offset them in time so they don't look the same. Maybe something like this. Yeah, and then merge them. So you have something like this, right? And there's one more. I don't need this one. Oh, no, that was actually, I have to merge this one too. So merge.
Goro, real quick, we have a question that's asking, how do you scale both without translating or rotating?
Oh, I'm just grabbing either you can constrain, so translate and rotate, then you can just scale it wherever you are, which is like very useful. You can turn on rotate, and then you can scale and rotate in place like this, right? And you can turn on translate, and then you can scale it like this. But you can also hold the square here to move it in plane and scale it, or just hold the y-axis here, grab the y-axis, and then you can scale it like that, which is like fairly easy. You can do it like this as well. Super useful, right?
If you also use the snap turning with the trigger, you can also just scale it that way, and it won't move it without you, going too far without turning it.
You mean using the snap trigger, like moving the?
I know there's a way where you can get like snap turning on the axes. It's like, I think it's one of the triggers. I can't remember.
Exactly. When you rotate with the index finger, that's when you do these, right? These steps.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, and if you scale during that, it's essentially like almost locking the thing in place before you rotate it.
Oh yeah, it's the same as grabbing the axis, right? Because you don't have to snap and it does the same. Because, right, just with a snap, because you're actually just manipulating one axis. So yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, so now we have these UI elements here. This is looking pretty cool already, right? So let's scale. Oops. Let me put all of these into circles. So we have. Oh, this is okay. I'm gonna merge this down as well. And these are circles baked. So I can make them bigger. Put them here or something. And at this point I might bring in a sound. So let me just bring in some computer sound. This sounds like really cool. I'm gonna make it quieter for you guys. So this sounds probably better. Let me know if it's too loud. But it should be fine. And then sometimes it helps me to hear the sound, because then I can just animate to the sound. And I use the 3D space here to my advantage to give a little bit of depth, so it's not all on the same plane. But this is like looking pretty cool, right? Like this has been only 30 minutes with explanation to get to this point. Now we need some boxes. So I think I will do some boxes. What is a UI without UI boxes, right? So you can do something like, let me start with like drawing a very thin line, and maybe I do a thin line with an indentation or something. Let me turn off that's fine. So like this, and then I do like a little short stroke, and then rotate it like that. And I'm not gonna be like Tyler accurate, Sorry when you're cringing, Tyler, but that's how I work.
You and Yari say that so much. Just not Tyler accurate.
Because you made the precision tutorial, that's what you get. No, but it's good. I like the way you work. Like your stuff is always so clean. So it's nothing negative. It's a positive. So embrace it. So I'm just gonna rotate this here. Let me check here. I want to put it back to 8. And then I'm just gonna, you know what? Let me do one thing quickly. I'm just gonna add like a little element here. This is gonna be super cool looking. So when you design a UI, it's like a lot with like combining thin and thick and thin strokes. That will always look really good. A good balance between those two are like really good. And then I just redo twice, and then I have like this cool little box, right? So I can now put this anywhere I want, right? So maybe I want to put this into a box. Yeah, we'll put the whole thing in a box. So I'll make it like this. I don't know why it was lagging just now. super weird. But I'm gonna use this whole thing and reuse it. And maybe this box will become longer. So just do this and just connect this again with a longer line. Oops, and I hit the microphone. I hit it high up. Sorry guys, let me bring the microphone back down. Okay. And then move this up as well. All right, so now I have these UI boxes. These looks pretty cool. Maybe I will bring them closer. And then, like you can also like always, fix these sizes, like let me see if I can actually do this via thick and thin. Doesn't look that good, but for now, you know what? I actually don't like it. So I'm just going to redo this. All right. And just move it up. Remove this again. I remove these first so I can see what I'm doing. And then let me just extend this one. So, like a lot of people ask me, like, how are you so precise with your stuff? And it's actually not. A lot of times I just eyeball stuff, and it's fine, as long as you can sell your idea and as you can duplicate it and it looks fine, right? Like the thing is like it's more like selling an idea, and then you don't always have to be like super accurate. Of course, if you want to work with a client and stuff like that, that becomes more important. But just don't get too caught up with trying to get everything in the perfect angles and stuff like that, right? So now I'm gonna do some more boxes here. Maybe I will do one that is just totally square. So I'm just gonna do something like this. Let me create a new layer here, and then use like another white cube. Maybe this one is just a cube. Something like this. Do the same thing. Maybe this one can be actually, let me pick the color again, a little bit longer, something like this. And I like really balancing thick and thin, right? Like that. This is really, cool how you can do that stuff. Let me add this and then duplicate it like this. There we go. Okay, now I have like a little box that I can maybe put inside here, right? And duplicate it. Maybe like it's a little bit asymmetrical. And I can also use it here for some elements in the foreground. Just place it here. Maybe there's like more elements here in the background. Something like this. Maybe I can rotate it. Maybe I can even use it as something. Display elements here, and this is like where we go into details. But I'm just gonna use this box multiple times. It's like a really good element already that I can reuse. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Let me put more stuff in here. Something like this. All right, this is looking nice. Okay, I think, what else was there? Text and detail. Oh yeah, let's go into some detail elements here. We have the grid, we have the boxes, we have the circles. Okay, let's go into detail. So in the detail, like typography is like important, right? So let me just go into, actually before I go into typography, I'm gonna show you guys in the boxes layer. Maybe another design element here that you can quickly do is like, this is really cool. For example, if you want to have like a pentagon, right? You can create, let me change the color to something more like this. This is looking good. Okay, so here you go or where is it? Here. Or if you want 6 sides, that is, no, pentagon is 5, so it's a hexagon, right? But I'm just gonna do like a 6-sided thing. Boom, you have this, right? And now you can duplicate this and create something like this. This is pretty cool, right? And now you can duplicate this and do something like this. Right? Let me remove this. Let me remove this. And now you can do stuff like this. Cool, huh? Let me just remove these. Remove these. And these are like super cool design elements that I like to use. I wouldn't even know how to do this stuff in After Effects, you know, but here you can do it pretty quickly, just like that. And then, you know, maybe this is something that's in here, indented a little bit. But you can also use it as design elements. Maybe I make it a little bit darker. Rotate it. Rotate it. Maybe make that a little bit darker. So now you have like these cool elements. So you can just go to here and set it to 8. Let me pick that color here, make it a little bit bluer, and then you do something like this. Duplicate it, rotate it with snap, go here, make sure it aligns, just like this, and then you have this, right? And then you can do the same thing. So this like looks like a pretty cool design element, so I'm just gonna put it down here or something. You can make it smaller as well. Nice. All right, so this is starting to look really cool. Let me do some detail work. So one thing you can do is like, I already have a new layer in there. I can maybe do like a little matrix with cubes, out of cubes. So let me do this. With snap on, and let me know if I'm moving too fast, you know. But this is looking good, and then I'm just going to create a cycle, maybe 15 frames, because we're at 30 frames per second. We want to be able to divide it always, and then I'm just gonna, you know, over time color dodge certain pieces. Maybe I do like something like this. So this is looking pretty awesome. All right, so now I have like these boxes, and let's do some typography. So this is not going to be pretty because, you know, I'm not going to draw like perfectly. But what I'm gonna do is like I'm just going to add some numbers. So let me like 1. Maybe I will add some guides so I can make sure that what am I doing? That I stay within the boundaries, just like this. And then let me just duplicate this. So this is going to be the 0. 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Yes, guys, I'm gonna go all the way. Maybe Yari has a faster way to do this. 5. I'm gonna task you how to do numbers in 5 seconds. For 6, I just duplicated.
This is not possible.
Anything is possible, Yari. You can make it happen.
Yeah, that's right.
7 for 8. I'm just gonna reuse this. 8. And then 9. I'm gonna reuse the 8. Let's do this. Let's do this. That's fine. Looks nice enough, right? All right. So what I'm gonna do now is this is pretty cool. Let me just delete all frames, and I'm just gonna create like a random array of numbers. Like I like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe this range, right? I'm just gonna bring it down here. Maybe I will at least fix this 5 here. It will look somewhat nice. So I'm just gonna take this array of numbers. Maybe the 1 I will move over a little bit, just like this. Okay, and then I'm just going to duplicate the frame and then delete this. And am I doing the right thing? No, I'm not. Let me make sure I don't have the... Yeah, this is dangerous. So you have to have selected all frames off. And at this point, I'm going to save. And then I'm just going to delete the 2, move the 4 over here, move the 5 down. I can just copy the 5. Move it over here. Maybe bring in the 9. And then delete this one. Let's bring the 7. Oops. Let's duplicate it. And then I'm gonna create a new layer. Maybe I will just remove this one, move over the 5, remove the 1, bring down the 0, remove the 9, bring down the 3, and then take the 6 maybe, put it here, create a new frame, and then maybe delete the 7 and the 3, maybe move the 3 over here, maybe move the 0 over here, bring down the 1, like that, bring the 7, create a new frame, and then I'm gonna do this for about 100 frames. Just kidding. Okay, I'm just gonna be done in a second, and we have the 5 actually. Okay, let me just bring the 6, and then bring the 1. Just gonna move the 7 over here, bring the 8. I don't think we used the 8. I deleted the 9, but that's fine. And then maybe the 7 doesn't change this time, and then I'm just gonna maybe move the 8 over here, the 6 over there, 7 over there, bring down the 0, bring down the 5, and see what it looks like. Loop. This looks pretty cool, right? But it's too fast. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dupe it. So this is pretty cool. All right. At this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and select all these and delete. Right. So now I have like a really cool counter. Was done pretty quickly, and now I can just go ahead and distribute it. So this is the numbers. And then I can just use this and distribute it to where I want. So let me hide the sound here, and just, you know, numbers look super important. They always look super cool. And I'm just gonna add them everywhere, even here. Maybe here we can do like a longer array. And maybe here we put one into the box. like this, maybe outside the box a little bit. And then I'm just gonna see what this looks like. This is already looking really, really cool. Like you have a lot of like these little numbers going crazy. And it doesn't matter, like you can offset them, but it's actually not that obvious if they're not offset. You know, you can see that it still reads as like, you know, you can't focus and you can't compare them. So, you know, you can just easily merge them if you want, you know, merge them. And then you have like an array of numbers like that. And then you can just place them anywhere and it just looks crazy detailed, right? So now you have like these cool little elements like this. Maybe I duplicate it again, make them a little bit smaller. So it looks really, really cool. So this is looking really nice. Let's do some, maybe we can do, yeah, maybe we can do one more thing here. Let me see. What is this one? This is the grid. Maybe I can also reuse the grid somewhere here. So then that's what I love about it. You can just easily just duplicate and it's so fast, you know. You can do stuff like this, complicated stuff like this really, really quickly. And then I want this to look different. So I'm just gonna select it all. And then hue, change the hue on it. Color dodge it maybe a little bit. Yeah, this is good. All right, now we have this. Let's add a few more. What did I? Okay, text. Yeah. So I'm not gonna write anything now because that's gonna take too long. But I'm going to show you guys how you can create stuff that looks super important, right? So you can draw like a line. Let me make like a really small brush. Draw like a line here to this square, for example, right? And then you just write something in there, just like this. This is like important text, right? And then you just add like something blinking in here. So let me just do a new layer. And then maybe like an orange. Orange might be good. Maybe I use a cube, so it's like a little bit dimensional. And then I'm just going to create a new frame, hold this frame for 15 seconds, 15 frames, right? Okay, perfect. Hold this frame for 15 frames. And then loop it. And then, yeah, like this blinking thing here. And then it looks super important. All right, so let me do more of these. So I'm just going to add more lines. So maybe there's another line here. Make sure it's like thin. And then there's the text. See, it looks super, super important. But you know, like imagine you would write something like this, you know, here. It's gonna look really, really cool. I mean, this is just shapes for now, but if this was text, you know, you can do something really cool really fast. So this looks good. Just adding random text here. And then maybe change the color a little bit, you know, make it darker. And then just adding text, little dots. And maybe more little dots.
Hey, Goro.
Yes.
How do you do your line spheres? Or
my line spheres?
Yeah, it's like a.
You mean this?
It's like individual strokes, I guess. Like it's been created into a sphere.
You mean circles or spheres?
Spheres.
Okay, so yeah, that's actually my next point. Once I get done with this, so I'm just gonna show you after this, but I want to cover a little bit of little more UI elements that you can do. For example, here, this is pretty cool. Like if you look at the wireframe, I want to optimize it maximum, you know, and then I want to, maybe I make a shorter stroke actually, because we want to have like a gauge here, something like this, and then I'm gonna create 15 frames is probably enough. And I'm just gonna do frame by frame grab to animation. I make sure that it's like full influence. And then I'm going to first frame, second frame, bring this down a little, and then go back up, back up, back up. Oops, back up. And let me see where I am. The animation. Okay. So now I'm gonna loop this, and I have like this little cool animation, right? I'm just gonna now duplicate this. Let me put this into a new group so I can see what I'm doing, and then I'm just gonna duplicate it a few times, and then I'm gonna offset it at different times. So offset it, offset it, offset this, offset this. Okay, now we have this. This is like pretty cool. I'm gonna merge this, and maybe this is like, what do I call it? Bars. And then the bars, I can, you know, select them all at once. And then colorize them, color dodge them at the top. And then I have like really cool sci-fi bars that look really nice. I can then duplicate these again, right? So somebody is not muted. If you can mute yourself, I hear like a noise. I used like a wrong layer here. But it doesn't matter. Let me just extract these out of this. So I think what I'm gonna do, what did I do? Okay, this wasn't an animated layer. Good. So I'm just gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna delete these bars from this layer and delete everything else from this layer. Make sure I have everything. And then I don't need animation on this layer, and then I have hopefully isolated this. Yeah, okay. This way I can just reuse this guy, put it anywhere I want, and maybe where is it? And I'm gonna offset these as well so they're don't look the same. And then maybe I have a bigger one here. Something like this, maybe it goes in a little bit. And then I'm gonna offset this one as well. Then merge the bars, and then I have something cool like this. All right, so let's go one more thing. So before we go into what Kurt was asking, we do one bar here. Something like this, and then I grab tool it. I go into the wireframe, and then I create an animation. It's about 15 frames long, and then I make sure that I grab the line here in the center. Just like this, so I just grab one vertex or two vertices. Because if I do this, it just looks like this, right? So I don't want this. So let's see. This is pretty cool. I think I have a better location for that one. maybe here. And maybe I can do something like this and then offset them. Offset these guys. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, now I have this. It might need a box. You know what? There's a better spot for this. There's a perfect box for these things. See? Nice. Okay, maybe we want to change the color a little bit to something darker. This is good. Maybe in the center gets a little bit brighter. Just add some variation. It's pretty cool. All right. I think I need some orange elements here and there, like orange accents. So I go back to my no, detail pass is good. Let me see. Or is it in the boxes? Might have it in the boxes. I guess I'm just gonna use this group. I'm just gonna put, we have 3 minutes left, but I might go a little bit over. It's all good. I'm just adding a little bit of orange elements. Just to balance it out, color-wise. I have like, you know, little orange accents here and there. Looking good. And then we want some 3D elements as well. So hopefully this will answer your question, Kurt. Let me know if it's not, but I'm gonna do like a 3D. And I think I would cover everything here with the 3D as the last thing that I want to cover. So for example, I will create like a little dot. A little dot here. So this is good. And then I'm just gonna duplicate this down and I'm going to maybe use 16 steps. And then I will duplicate this like this. Now I have a 3D sphere. Is that what you wanted, Kurt?
Okay, so is that how you approach with the like one single stroke lines? Right. I guess you curved one side and then just
no. So basically, what you do is like you just duplicate this like this. You take this, do it like this, and then all you need to do is select these, not the top portion, and then you just duplicate it like this, and now you have the globe.
All right.
If that was what you wanted to know.
Yeah. Oh,
okay, cool. Yeah. All right, so now I'm just going to rotate this. I'm going to bring the pivot to the center of the bounding box, and then I'm going to rotate 1, 2, 3. Oops. I have to turn this into 8. Let me do this to 8. Delete this again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Okay. So in 3 seconds, let me do 4. In 4 seconds, I want this sphere to rotate. So I'm just gonna create a new sequence and loop it, and then it should be rotating. So this. I suck today with the rotations. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Let me see. It should be working. Oh no, there you go. Yeah, it was just stepped curves. Okay, so now we have this, and maybe we can just, this is looking pretty good. We might want to put like a little dot in the center or something, like an orange dot. No, I prefer it like this. Is it stopping at some point? No, it's working fine. Okay, let me just do bake this. and then move it over here so I can reuse it. Maybe I can put it in the center here. This might look really cool. I like it this way. Like that, maybe it's a little bit bigger. Actually, it doesn't look that great. So I can choose wherever I want to put it. And maybe put it here. And then I might want to have my own frame for this one. So let me see if I have a cube frame here that I can reuse. Maybe I will just use this frame. So just select across layers and then scale it like that. And then what I can do is I will move this over a little and then add some text to it as well. So some text. What are these bars? Oh yeah, this is my text. So I'm just gonna add some text to it. Something like this. Maybe some dots. Dots always look good. And some lines. All right, one thing in the detail I forgot to do, what I wanted to show you guys is also like super cool stuff like this. So you can do stuff like this. Duplicate, 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 duplicate. It's like a scale or something, right? And then you can just create a new group, a new layer inside the group, and then I will use like an orange color here. Oops, let me snap. Something like this. This is like a little arrow. And then I'm just gonna puppeteer some movement here up to 4 seconds. 4 seconds is a good time. So I'm just going to create a sequence and loop it here. And create a keyframe here, a keyframe there. And then I'm just going to puppeteer this guy for 4 seconds. 1, 2. Oops, am I doing it? No, because it was selected. Okay, now it's doing it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is actually too aggressive. I don't want it to be so eye-catching, so I'm just gonna make it like more subtle. So it's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. Much better. And I might want to make it like much smaller here. So I might make the arrow smaller. That is looking really, really good. Okay, so now let me just see if I can duplicate these guys and add another layer of level of detail. Something like this. Doesn't have to make perfect sense, right? And then I will add this. You know what? I'm just gonna put this into this, and then I'm just going to duplicate this whole thing. Let me just reset transform and rotate it. This is like Yari's mirror technique, and I just mirror it over like that. So I think this is pretty decent. Do you guys have any questions? So far, I think I got to everything what I wanted to show. We're like just at a little bit past the hour. I might want to scale down the pluses here. They're like too big, so I might want to fix that again. I'm just gonna delete them all and just keep one. Let me just do this. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask. Don't be shy.
We got a couple people typing.
All right.
Question.
Cool. Yeah. Meanwhile, I will just distribute the pluses.
Stefano's asking if there's one way to lock a layer to the viewer.
Only image layers. So if you bring in an image layer, you can lock it to a viewer, but not unless... Yeah, no, I don't think there's a way. Unless you put it into a spawn area. Yeah, you could. So I think you can. So let me just try this little quick. So you put the... No. You won't be...
Yeah, it won't move with your head.
Yeah, it won't move it. Yeah. So
you could kind of make like a cockpit with the spawn area,
so,
but it wouldn't be like an Iron Man HUD.
Yeah, you can't freely move your head around. It would just move with the spawn area. So no, but with image layers, like for example, Yari did that with his counter. The counter is attached to your face, if you noticed that the frame counter he built. So that's something you can do, but not with Quill strokes. Let me just quickly do the pluses here. Any more questions?
I don't think so. There was one from Dimitri Kaler asking if you also add some transparency animation to the individual elements, will it start lagging too much?
Transparency just when you share it to Quill Theater, it just doesn't look good, so I just try to avoid it. Transparency in general does not look great, so that's why I'm not using it. But you can totally do that. So for example, I've done that in the past a little bit, tried it, but usually doesn't look too great, but I can do it here. And like I think I actually done it in one of my pieces. So you can make sure you use like 25%, 50 or 75%. That tends to look the best. But yeah, you can put like elements like this in the background, right? Like these are like transparent planes to just give a little bit more depth and stuff like that. Yeah, you can totally do that. And then if you make it a little bit darker, they will seem more transparent. Oops. What is going on? I think I have to go darker. Am I not on the layer? Oh, I was duplicating the whole layer, so now I can colorize it. Yeah, there we go. So I can make it like a little bit more transparent looking, more subtle by painting it, colorizing it with a background color. Now you have like this cool little parallax planes. And you can see like because I use all the line tool, see how small it is still. Draw calls are totally fine. I can totally save this and share it to Quill Theater. Maybe I will, so you guys can check it out in VR. I deleted a bunch of stuff here, I noticed, so maybe I won't share this one. I think that happened accidentally when I selected a bunch of stuff, when I selected these crosses. So maybe I will have a save file before that. I don't know when I saved last time. Let me open this one. I might have already destroyed it. Yeah, I already destroyed it, but it's fine. Like, you know, I can redo it and share it if you guys... Do you guys want to see this in VR? Would that help? If not...
Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have the other file, right? Like the other file that I sent, but you know, I might fix this up. It's only like this section here, and then I can share it so you guys can check it out. Like, see, I deleted a lot of stuff here. So be careful with whenever you use this, you use the selection tool, be careful that this is not on, because now I can't undo this. You know, I would have to redo this stuff. But yeah. Now I would be able to add like some spawn areas and show off this piece, and yeah.
Quick last question from Rexandra, who's asking if you use the same approach you had here with the circles in your last Dia de los Muertos piece.
Did I think so. I would have to look at it again, but yeah, I use this technique quite a bit to get like really nice looking, dotted lines and Dia de los Muertos. I don't remember what exactly I did. I did a lot of flowers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's likely that I used the same technique. I think this is like super powerful. You can get to like super high fidelity results really quickly. But yeah, sorry I destroyed it. I actually see like I destroyed quite a bit with the last action I took. But yeah. Hope you were able to learn something new today. And yeah, this is how you do futuristic head-up displays. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And bye-bye.